All right, let's move on to the next problem in section 11.3, the derivative as a rate of change. Problem 23. So now we're moving on to revenue. We're looking at revenue instead of cost. So R represents total revenue and is a function of the number of Q units sold. Find the marginal revenue function and the marginal revenue for the indicated values of Q. So here, the total revenue of a firm is 0.8 Q. We're supposed to evaluate this at, we're supposed to evaluate the marginal revenue at three output levels: Q equals 9, Q equals 300, and Q equals 500. So taking the derivative of revenue with respect to quantity is going to equal 0.8 Q. The derivative is just 0.8. So we have marginal revenue. The revenue earned from producing one more unit of output is going to be constant. And so at all three of these output levels, the marginal revenue is going to be 0.8. And I'm sure most of you remember that in a perfectly competitive market in which all firms are price takers, meaning that they cannot affect the price of output in a market with their output decision, and thus the marginal revenue that they receive from selling output is going to be constant, and it's going to be the price that they sell it at, that they sell their output at. And so, just as a side note, for those of you that would like a little bit of a refresher, in this case, because marginal revenue is constant, we're likely looking at a firm that is in a perfectly competitive market. And so they're facing a perfectly elastic demand curve, meaning a flat demand curve, which is just the price that is set in the market for the entire industry. And that is why their marginal revenue is constant, and that is why, regardless of their output decision, their output level, their marginal revenue, the revenue they gain from selling one more unit of output, is going to be constant. So selling one more unit of output will generate 80 cents worth of revenue, regardless of the level of output they choose.